Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee, and today we are back on my island Ember for another hard mode challenge video. In today's video, I'll be going through how I created the 3 main custom code paths I'll be using on my island. These consist of a dirt path, a worn down road, and a wooden deck code. So let's get into it. First, I'll be going over the dirt path. For this path, I'm starting by creating the centerpiece of my 9-piece path. To start, I'm laying down my base, which is a medium shade of brown. Next, I'm taking a slightly darker brown color and going through with the star shape tool and making a bunch of random patterns. I like using the star tool for this because it helps me keep the pattern randomized and it goes a little faster than using the 1 square tool. Now I'm going in with an even darker shade of brown and making tons of little swirls with the 1 square tool. For the base, I end up using 4 different shades of brown, and this will help make the path look a little bit more realistic and dimensional. I'm now going in and swapping between the first shade of brown we used and the lightest shade to add some highlights. I do have this footage sped up, but I'm really just going in with each color and adding them in using swirling motions. I find the less I think about it, the better the path comes out. I'm going to keep repeating this process with the 4 colors until I'm happy with how the pattern looks in the tiny view in the upper left corner. This process might take a while, but it is the most important part, so just be a little patient. Now I'm just fine-tuning and making sure there's no clumps of one specific color. After making sure I like how the design looks placed on the ground, I'm going to copy this design into all the 9-piece spots. Now it's time to work on the upper left piece of the path. To start, I'm going in with the transparent tool and mapping out the edge of my design. When doing this, I want to be aware of where I'm placing the corners because I'll need to make sure all my paths line up in the same tile. For this specific design, I'm connecting all of my paths in the outermost tile. I'm now going in with the transparent tool and randomly removing pieces of the edge, again using the random swirling motions. For my dirt code, I wanted there to be a slight gradient on the outermost edge of the path, so I'm going in with the darkest color brown and randomly adding that on the edges. Don't worry if you add too much, because we'll be going in with other colors and the transparent tool at the end. I'm repeating this process with 2 other shades of brown, going in order from darkest to lightest and moving in closer to the center with each color. After I have my gradient laid out, I'm going back in with my transparent tool to remove a few more areas and really texturize the outer edge. I'm going to keep repeating this process until I'm happy with the end result. And again, I'm really focusing on how it looks in the upper left corner view. When I'm finished, I'm going to note down where I put my lowest transparent pixel on the upper right side and the bottom left side so I can match the connecting pieces with this piece. Now that this corner piece is complete, I'm moving on to the top middle piece, but the process is basically the same. Because I noted where we had our lowest transparent pixel on the last piece, I'm going to mark that on this design so I know how far to go down with the scattered edge on this piece of the path. That way everything lines up correctly when we place this design on the ground. But as you can see, the process for this piece is the same as the previous. Go in with the transparent tool, place my gradient from darkest to lightest, and then clean that up with the transparent tool. I then went ahead and repeated this process for the remaining edge pieces, and this is what we have. But I'm not done yet. I wanted to make single width path pieces as well. To start our vertical path, I went ahead and copied one of our side pieces that we just created. For this piece, I'm basically going to copy what I have on the one side over onto this side. So I went ahead and counted how many transparent pixels came in so I can mimic that on this side to ensure our path is centered. And just like our other pieces, I'm going in with the transparent tool, placing my gradient, and then cleaning it all up. And this is what it looks like placed down. As you can see, we have a single width path now, and they connect when you add 2 in a row. To make our caps to this single width piece, I'm going to copy this design for the top and bottom. Now let's make the bottom piece. To start, I'm going in with the transparent tool to map out our curved edge. And you probably guessed it, but we are now going to repeat that same process to scatter the edge of this piece. And then I repeated this process for the top piece and just curved the top instead of the bottom. And this is what it looks like all connected. The process will be the same for the horizontal single width path as well, it's just sideways instead of up and down. And then for our last piece of my dirt design, I made a single patch of dirt. To start, I'm going to copy one of my single width horizontal cat pieces. To make this piece a circle, I'm just shaving down the right side with the transparent tool and then going in with our fancy dirt scattering process. And there you have it, we just created a 16-piece dirt path design. Now let's move on to our worn down road design. For our base and centerpiece, I'm going to start the same exact way as our dirt design. I'm going to start our base by placing down a medium tone gray color, and then I'm going in with a lighter shade of gray to make random designs with the star tool. Unlike the dirt design, I'm only using 3 shades of gray for this base. I'm just going in with a single square tool of the darkest gray color and making random swirling motions across the design. And I'm just going to repeat this process with each of the 3 shades until we get a mix and design that I'm happy with. Just like the dirt path, this centerpiece might take a while, but we will be using this design for the remaining 8 pieces of our path, so I'm just going to be patient and wait until I'm happy with the outcome. Once I'm happy with how it looks in the design app, I'm going to place it on the ground to double check. If it looks good placed, I'm going to copy the design for the remaining 8 pieces. Now I'm going to start by making the left middle design. And I'm just going to start by shaving off 3 squares of the left side with the transparent tool. And for my road design, I wanted the edges to be frayed with dirt, so I'm going in with the dark shade of brown and scattering that along the edges, making sure I only go across 3 tiles. Then I repeat the process with a slightly lighter shade of brown 1 tile in from where I started the dark brown color. I repeated this whole process for the middle pieces of each side because I'll be using the side pieces to make our corners. Work smarter, not harder. And now, working on a corner piece, we are already halfway done since we're using a side piece. And now I only have to finish off the one side using the same process of the transparent tiles and the 2 shades of brown. I went ahead and repeated that for each corner, and this is what the road looks like so far. But what is a road without white lines? So I created horizontal and vertical line centerpieces. To do this, I took an off-white color and made a 4x18 line down the center. And then I went back in with a gray color to distress the sides. Now moving on to the deck codes. I followed an amazing tutorial for a wooden deck code by April Honey, and I'll have that video linked in the description. So I won't be teaching you how to make the deck code itself, but I'll go over a few additional pieces I created for this design. In addition to the main deck, I wanted to have a few steps for my design. So to start, I'm taking the corner piece of the main deck code, and I'm going in with black and making 4 lines across the very top. And underneath the black lines, I'm adding in a line of the darkest brown shade. And then I'm going to repeat this process on the second board where we already have that black line. After the left side was done, I then repeated this for the middle and right pieces. I've also been thinking about adjusting this design to make 4 planks instead of 2. And to do this, I added a black line in the center of each plank and then added the light brown line above and below those black lines. But that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure you give the video a like, comment, and to subscribe to my channel. If you watched to the end, let me know what type of designs you're using on your island and if you made them yourself. Bye, friends!